Welcome back to Apollo Justice. We are starting off the first trial in the Right of Turnabout, which we are saving Maya again. So let's get right into it. May 11th. Wasn't able to find any conclusive evidence yesterday. Wow, Katie. Okay, then. But if I could figure out Lady Kira's motive for threatening the High Priest, then maybe... Nick, today well, don't slow down, Maya. I'm gonna defend you with everything I've got. You would do well to cease this insanity while you still can. Oh, it's her. As I said yesterday, I'm going to defend my client in court. Well, know this. You shall not witness a miracle of the sort that occurred last time. The moment she is found guilty, you too will be found guilty of abetting the accused. Hi, Jason. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. I never claimed to be a miracle maker, but I am good at discovering the truth. And unlike miracles, the truth is always waiting to be found. The truth, you say? Then it seems you have chosen your fate. This shall be your very last trial. Nick, I'm gonna prove you innocent, Maya. You'll see. After all, you have to introduce Boon Punisher, warrior of Neo Twilight Realm, to the folks back home, right? Right. I may be a defendant this time. But I'll be by your side like always, Nick. Thanks, Maya. This place is tough on lawyers. I need all the help I can get. Plus, it's always good to have you on the team. Is Maya naughty again? She was caught in the middle of something and is being accused once again. Well, it's time. Let's go.
Am I a cat?
I didn't do anything, Katie. Stop accusing me. Court is now in session. Oh, she's up on the thing with us. Let the trial of Maya Fey begin. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. Oh yeah, this guy again. Huh. This is the first trial she's been by your side since case 3, by the way.
There.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Hey, Lionheart, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Quiet! Can't you see Prosecutor Samadhi is absorbed in silent prayer? The trial's barely started and the judge is already mad at me. It's very devout for a prosecutor. Why is the accused standing over there? Hey, Din Chips. Oh, well... Your Majesty, in addition to being the accused, she is also my assistant. Whose is your assistant, you say? Very well, then. A criminal does indeed make a fitting partner to a lawyer with a defiled soul. God damn! That wasn't very nice. Yeah, well, bad-mouthing lawyer seems to be a custom of sorts here in Khurain. Yes, she has, Chiv. She has been arrested. I must say, I am surprised to see you still here in Khurain, Mr. Wright. And even more so to find you in the Hall of Justice once more. I cannot fathom why you would willingly risk your life in yet another trial. The answer is simple, Your Majesty. I am a lawyer, and this is what lawyers do. Though, to be frank, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now. Such foolishness. Ah, Oscar Samadhi, are you ready to begin now? Yes, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. But first, I promise you both this. I will cast your wicked souls into the fires of hell. Damn. Thus shall the soul of the victim attain salvation. Oh, splendid! I would expect nothing less of you, Prosecutor Samadhi. You say the victim's soul. Punish the wicked lawyer who dares to stop these last rites of. I think I'll pass on the whole fire and brimstone deal. I'm not surprised by your words or stance, considering what Apollo's told me about you. So, it was you who instilled that putrid lawyerly guile? Gill? Within him. Within him. Putrid. What? He too must soon face the fires, lest his soul be lost to redemption. But I shall send you on ahead, so that he will not be lonely when he arrives. Sorry, but I'm afraid it won't be that easy. People say I never know when to give up. That's true. Nervous, Maya? A little. Feels like it's been ages since we stood side by side like this in court. Too bad I'm the defendant. Dial? Okay, thank you. Don't worry. We haven't lost a case together yet. You're right. Let's give us everything we've got, Nick. Now then, Prosecutor Samadhi, would you please explain the case at hand? Of course, Your Majesty. Let us begin the last rites of the victim. Maya Fey has been charged with the crime of murder. What else is new? The victim of her heinous crime was High Priest Taros Dimmi. He was conducting the purification rite when he was brutally slain. And the cause of death? Let us review the victim's autopsy report and crime scene photos, shall we? I know, Jason. The cause of death was blood loss from a stab wound delivered to the abdomen. The murder weapon was likely the Warbad dagger, which was used in the rite. However, the weapon has yet to be found, though the scene was thoroughly searched. Sacred relic used as a tool of murder. The Holy Mother's wrath shall be most severe. The murder itself took place at the height of the purification rite. The accused had donned Lady Kira's sacred robes, and the victim was there to offer prayers as a high priest of Cryanism. During the rite, the victim and accused were the only two at the inner sanctum. Therefore, the only person who could have slain the victim is Maya Fey. I must say, that does cast a great deal of suspicion upon the accused. Indeed. Now then, allow me to submit this diagram of the crime scene as evidence in this case. Okay. In Cryanism, slaying a priest is a sin most grave and dreadful. As such, Maya Fey's soul shall be plunged into the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling. What? What? I... You know what? Maybe I shouldn't question it. Hoppling side, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Okay. There, she should be tickled without end for 500 million years. That's such a weird, quote-unquote, punishment. I mean, somebody did reference interrogation hell in the States. Yes. Hey, we don't judge what you're into, Naruto. I guess he's into tickling? Maybe not. I don't know. That is a terrible fate indeed. Would the defense care to respond? And here I thought the lowest level of hell was the hell of back pain. Yeah, I would have thought that was like... Yeah. I'm never killing anyone, and I don't have the dagger or anything like it. Saying hi quick over lunch. I hope the trial's going well. We're just getting started, Koba, but welcome on in. Hope we're doing well. Thank you for the lurk chips. Appreciate it. In fairness to Wright, that probably is true for him. Yeah. As my client stated, she has no memory of the event as described by the prosecution. But more importantly, she had no motive to kill the high priest in the first place.
Objection!
I thought you might say that. Nevertheless, the meaningless prattle of lawyers is utterly ineffectual here in the Hall of Justice. For all will be made clear by her benevolence, Rafa Padma Graian's insights. So it is, and so it shall be. Divination seance reveals the truth for all to see. Here we go again. Bailiff, please show in the royal priestess. Princess Rafa. Oh, beautiful. Benevolence looks again today. Popular as ever, I see. Rest assured, good people of Khurain, I will defeat this murderer and her abettor. They shall not escape on their freedom expressed today. What a joy it is to have the royal priestess back in the Hall of Justice. May the Holy Mother grant us her divine favor. You're the Hada? Khurain. Udihara. She sure looks pleased with herself. Especially for someone who didn't know what a Freedom Express was until yesterday. Yeah, I was just thinking that, actually. Objection. Nuh-uh. The animation of shaking the head after objection was hilarious. Yeah, they could have some funny animations in this. Is there something stuck to my face, barbed head? No, nothing, your benevolence. Now then, your benevolence, the divination seance, if you please. Very well. Nana, my robe.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Thank you for doing the voice acting for me. Seeing that ribbon thing or whatever on her arms is kind of making me think of Cresselia from Pokemon.
Huh?
No capes. Forgot how long this was. Shouldn't the lawyer getting killed go both ways? So shouldn't the prosecutor have been executed since he defended a guilty party in the magician case? Well, I mean, different cultures and whatnot. Also, hi, Luxel. Welcome on in. Hope we're doing well. All right, what we got? Yeah, that was in our usual court. If it was in this one, it'd be a different story. Probably. Okay. Mhm. Wind. Footsteps, incense, bean. Okay. The victim's Mitamo has spoken. The divination seance is complete. Another clearly incriminating seance vision. It could not be any clearer, O foul defense. The accused donned the sacred robes of Lady Kira and then attacked the victim. Oh, how very terrible it must have been. The figure of Lady Kira lit against the dim lantern light. The scent of incense growing ever more potent as she drew near. One could almost sense the horror a bot in me must have felt. The facts as presented by her benevolence are indisputable. But that wasn't me! Do something, Nick! I'm working on it. Couldn't have been any clearer. Looks like I'm in for another uphill battle. The accused committed this vile act during our ancient tradition, the purification rite. Come to think of it, the rites guide explains the multi-part purification rite in detail. The transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture, while the priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira. The rite of water. Lady Kira enters the spring, and the high priest purifies her, along with her dagger. The rite of fire. The priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Okay. Indeed. It would seem that the murder occurred during the transformation rite. The rite dictates that the high priest stand in front of the spring. Therefore, the accused must have attacked him from the direction of the broken lantern. Well, Barbed Head, would you care to object? Of course, because I know my client is innocent. So you say. You truly do not know when you are beaten, do you? I managed to pull it off last time with Albie. I'll just have to do it again. You intend to find fault with her benevolence's insights yet again? It would seem lawyers are Hokunen creatures indeed. Oh boy. What exactly exactly is a Pokemon? Someone who's a real piece of work, so to speak. The objection! The prosecution is a poopy doo-doo head. They can call me anything they want. The only thing I care about is uncovering the truth. So, Barbed Head, are you foolish enough to risk your life for your so-called truth? Because my insights are the truth. To deny them is to willingly dig your own grave. Okay, here we go. The victims commence the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. As the first part, the transformation rite, ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, he heard the accused's approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed, till finally he passed from our world. That is everything the victim experienced in his final moments. Okay, not looking good right now, but... Dressed in the sacred robes of Lady Kira, the accused rushed the victim head-on. The brutal stabbing she perpetrated could not have been any clearer. What else is new yet, true? Yes, it is plain for all to see. No, it wasn't me! A sudden drowsiness came over me during the transformation rite. I didn't even get a chance to put on Lady Kira's robes. You waste our time with such meaningless statements, accused. You cannot explain away the truths revealed by the royal priestess's divine insight. How did you end up finding contradictions last time? The deceased's final memories include all 5 senses. Oh, you mean those words that appeared in the Pool of Souls? It looked to me like the bigger the word, the stronger the sensation was to the victim. Yeah, that's how it looked to me too. Sensations themselves are never wrong, only their interpretations. That's why I tried to point out mistakes in Rafa's insights the last time. There could be contradictions between what Amy felt and her insights, huh? You got it. And I'm gonna find them this time too. Can I check how to point out contradictions in Rafa's insights? I think we'll be okay. Nah, I remember how it works. Still, sensations this time seem to fluctuate more than the ones from Albie's trial. In which case, I better keep an eye on the changes in their intensity too. Okay, time to point out the sensations that contradict the insights. Okay. Yeah, that's true, Katie. Okay, so the victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Yeah. As the first part of the transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. Just right around here, roughly. He heard the accused approaching footsteps and smelled her incense-laden robes. The footsteps appear after he sees Lady Kira. I wonder if that's the first contradiction there. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. Okay. Not fast forward. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. So I think we found the first contradiction already. I think, anyway. On that note, I should probably save real quick. So, here are the accused. I'm pretty sure it's this.
Objection!
Got it. The victim supposedly heard the accused approaching footsteps. But did he really? What nonsense is this? It is not abundantly clear, or is it not abundantly clear? No, it's not. Because there is something strange about those footsteps. Strange? Explain yourself, Barbed Head. The footsteps are strange because the timing doesn't make sense. The timing doesn't make any sense. There shouldn't be any footsteps. There should not be footsteps as the accused was approaching the victim? Really? Then do you suggest that the accused was actually floating through the air? Well, I mean... I suggest you hold your tongue. Suggestion noted. That's not it then. Okay, so it wasn't that. Strange because... they're not getting any louder. Yeah, there we go. Why exactly does that matter? Please focus your attention on the incense the victim smelled. The scent grows stronger as the accused approaches. If the accused really had approached the victim, the sound of her footsteps would have grown louder as the scent of incense grew stronger. Why, that makes perfect sense. How could this be explained, Your Benevolence? Well, there must be a reason.
Objection!
It is as they say. Even a putrid worm of a lawyer will turn. What does that even mean? It's not exactly singing your praises, that's for sure. Still, we cannot discount this information solely on account of its lawyerly source. Your Benevolence, perhaps you must listen more carefully to the Abbot's Itama. Listen more carefully? What's he talking about? Yes, it would appear so. I shall try to refine the sensation. Refine the sensation? I can more accurately gauge sensations by deepening my communication with the Mitama. I didn't know you could do that. Why have we never done this before? By refining a sensation, a clearer picture of the truth can be discovered. Oh, blessed Mithama, I beseech you, hear me now and respond to my call. Okay. Bells. Footsteps changed into bells? What could this mean? Oh, is it Gage? Oh, okay. Bells. The only bells at the scene of the crime were... Ah, that jingling must have come from Abba Inmi's bells. You mean those big things he had on his ankles? Well, there you have it. The sound of bells was from the high priest's own footsteps. Then that means... if the footsteps belonged to the victim himself, it means it was the victim who was moving, not the accused. The victim was the one who went running toward the broken lantern from the spring. A far cry from what her benevolence's insight would have us believe. English is weird some days? Yeah, no kidding. But why would the victim have approached the accused? Maybe she was trying to defend him, or maybe he was trying to defend himself. Please explain. He could have felt threatened by Lady Kira standing there with a dagger. If so, he might have thought to overpower her before she attacked. Still your voices! This is nothing but a theory, and a poor one at that. Be not led astray by this lawyer's obvious postulation.
Objection!
While his insolence is inexcusable, I would ask that you calm yourself for your benevolence. Is there something you would care to say, Prosecutor Samadi? Even if it was a bot in me who moved, it does not negate the accused's crime. What do you mean? The accused was likely waiting for the high priest to approach. And as he neared, she plunged the dagger into him. It is as simple as that. Oh, great. It really doesn't change much, does it? Yes, it is as the prosecutor has said. In fact, it is as I meant to say all along as well. Oh, shut up. Right, and that's why you were so shocked when you first heard it. Understand now, lawyer? That contradiction you conjured up has come to naught. Once I hold my insights, it will vanish like the dying rays of the sun. Okay. He rushed to the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. As his lifeblood spilled over. See, the fact that it was a bot in me who moved changes nothing. Ugh. Come on, Phoenix, you gotta keep your cool. That contradiction I pointed out must mean something. That one sensation changed after Princess Rafa refined her vision. It stands to reason that something else might have changed too because of the refinement. Should focus on any sensations that have changed, while searching for more contradictions between them and her insights. Okay. Okay. Let's see if anything's changed besides the bells. I suppose the vision maybe not have changed much. Yeah. Bells, incense, yeah. Water. Okay, that's different. So the victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Yep. As the first part transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra suddenly. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed, as his life's blood spilled over his vision, doomed him finally. Okay. So he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Yeah. Okay.
Objection!
I wanted to make sure I was also on the right statement as well, because they can be picky about that. Hold it! How did we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to? That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear, and a bot in me would have adhered to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes. I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changed to the sound of water at one point. What's this? It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh. Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Okunka, that is absurd. This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence's insight indicates. Leyland Penrose, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Biscuit Bunch. Hope you're doing well today. Then where do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Okay. Okay. Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. If we were to go by the water, then it must be the spring, right?
Take that!
I'm probably wrong. Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Abba Amy and Miss Faye were standing where they were supposed to be. As shown in this rite's guide, in short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and accused in the front, and the accused in the front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he couldn't have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Faye had actually been standing in the water. But if this is true, then their positions would have been completely reversed. What is going on here, Miss Faye? Were you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. Ooh. Oh boy. Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. Doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you cling to the first insignificant contradiction you could muster. Sounds like Princess Rafa has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Wow. Is this contradiction really meaningless? Something really doesn't feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. As his blood spilled over, his vision did. Yeah, okay. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it.
What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright?
Ugh. Nick! Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence's insights have no further inadequacies of any kind.
Yes, so it would seem.
Wait a second, but there is another contradiction. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you rack the putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Hi Zeke, welcome on in over to him. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us out here. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Rafa's insights. That's right. We now know that Maya was standing in the spring.
That we do. And I gotta pause here because the ads are about to start, so we'll be right back.
Ugh. Oh Maya, what would we do without your frankly painful lack of memory? Jeez. We can't even claim someone took over your body as you're practically the master of Karain at this point. Yeah, that is true. Alright. I'm just gonna browse around real quick while we wait for the ads. Oh, how's everyone in chat doing? You guys doing okay? Steam is having outages? Oh boy. Let me just make sure. Yeah, no, my stream is fine. Did you know that though wasn't one of the lamps in the vision broken? So unless Maya has instant transmission, something weird is up. Glad. I'm good. Just glad it's not a thing, Zeke. Check. That's quick. Luxel and Zeke, thank you so much for the stream streaks, guys. Appreciate it. Luxel with 15 and Zeke with 45. Damn. Thank you so much. Sorry, just texted my mom. She was getting the details for me in terms of where Tabby and I need to go. Yeah, Steam, not stream. Objection, Your Honor. My client was streaking at the time of the incident. Oh my god, Zeke. Oh, goodness me. And welcome back from Ads, everyone. Sorry about that. And also thank you for your patience. Appreciate it. Objection. My client was too flat to commit the... Wow. Okay, then. Anyway. So yeah, we now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. We should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record and confirm where Maya and Abba and me were standing. And then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions on the insights. Oh, is it just the bright light? Okay. Until you have to go. Okay. Let's see here. So if I took... Who's your kid today? Hi, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Let's... Purification rite is a three-part ceremony held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. It begins with a transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which has been purified with incense. Hi, Big B. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Next is the rite of water, in which the priestess enters the spring dressed as Lady Kira, and the high priest purifies both Lady Kira and her dagger. Fantastic? Hell yeah! The ceremony ends with the rite of fire, in which the priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. The two then devote themselves to prayer until the rite comes to a close 2 days later at noontime. Are you doing? I'm doing alright, thank you. Doing alright. So basically the whole thing's a fancy way for Lady Kira to take a bath once a year. It'd be nice to be her. So... Alright, I'm glad to hear that. No, I wasn't, Luxel. problem here is the fact that it's saying here he rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the Springside lantern, but they're not even close to a lantern in this vision here. So that's kind of bugging me right now, but I don't know if that's the right thing we need to focus on. Just double check to make sure. Cause of death was blood loss from an alcohol wound delivered by a bladed weapon. The letter we found at the inner sanctum. A giant bloodstain makes it impossible to read in full. Ritual curtain. A curtain around the perimeter of the sanctum, isolating it from the outside world. The entrance was shut during the rite. And prayer flags. Prayer flags found outside the ritual curtain. They have been sewn together into a long banner. And then shows the priest's body and a shoveled out area of snow and a lantern with a broken wind guard. Yeah. See, I don't know if they want us to point that out or not. Maya's statement: on the day of the ride, the water in the spring was already stained red when Abba, Amy, and Maya arrived at the inner sanctum. Uh-huh. 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 Those were Maya and the high priest were during the rite. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, it's showing that she wasn't even near a lantern. So maybe this is the evidence that we need to present. I'm assuming so anyway, I don't know. I could be wrong. Oh wait, no, we're not presenting evidence. Okay. So, we go back here. I guess we would just point out where she is from here. So, if we select site.
Objection!
No, that wasn't right. Worth a shot. Hmm.
Objection!
Ah, damn. Thought I'd try that. Okay. When a key was pushed rather than ran over. Let's have a look. Yeah, you're right. It does look like that, doesn't it? Hmm. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that needs to be pointed out here. Yeah, so like the incense is getting stronger the closer he gets, which I mean that's okay. Yeah, whatever. Hand movements are certainly odd for yeah, they definitely are. So oh, no, I need to do that. See, I don't know how picky the game's gonna be. But in saying that though, Phoenix was saying about checking the diagram again. So I don't know if that I don't know if this is what if this is what like if this is related to that. I guess it would be about the lamps. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is the broken lantern in the opposite side of the spring? Yeah, it is. There's something else off that's gotten my attention. Okay. Yeah, see, there's a lot of things that are wrong. I'm just trying to figure out what does the game want you to focus on. That's the difficult part. Maybe I do need to focus on the lantern. Yeah.
Objection!
No? Okay. That was worth a shot. Okay. Because we can't present evidence here, at least not right now. It's really just a matter of focusing on the seance here. Okay. Hmm. Do you have to match the correct statement at the bottom with what you click? Yeah, you do. Let's see. The victim commenced the purification rite by bowing to the lanterns and reading a sutra. Bowing to the lanterns, yeah. And reading a sutra, which is this. Okay. As the first part, transformation rite ended, he lowered the sutra. Suddenly, okay, he rushed the accused and tried to fire off by the spring side lantern. It was then that the victim felt an intense pain. I believe this is when he was stabbed. As his life's blood spilled over, his vision dimmed till finally he passed from our world. You brought up the wind yet? No, not yet. Um, Is that another bit? The wind is coming from the direction of the broken lantern if their positions got reversed. No. Because the lantern, the broken one, would be on the... Like, from this angle... From this angle, it would be on the left side, not the right. That's where the wind was coming in. Although, well, the wind can come from any direction, so I guess that's nothing to do with it. Never mind. I mean, we could try and point it out. Maybe it is,
Objection!
No. Okay, never mind. You never know. Sometimes their reasoning is really wacky. Okay, so... First press... I want to see if there's anything that pops up for whatever reason. You can see the wind taking effect there. You'd like a quick hint? I'm ready. I'll let you know. I want to see if I can figure it out.
Objection!
No. Okay. Didn't think so. It was worth a shot. Did you check your court notes? Yeah, I had a look. Yeah, broken lantern's down there on the bottom left. Yeah. Uh-huh. Here's spring water was already stained red when we arrived at the inner sanctum on the day of the fight. Okay. Shows the high priest's body and shoulder. Yeah, and Maya said that this was already covered in red before the whole thing. Cause of death was... Okay. High priest reads scripture while the priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which has been purified with incense. Okay. Next is the water. Enters the spring dressed as Lady Kira, and the high priest purifies both Lady Kira. Wait, hold on a minute. Begins with the transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while a priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which have been purified with incense. She wasn't wearing Lady Kira's robes though in the beginning, and she was standing in the spring. So next to the rite of water in which the priestess enters the spring dressed as Lady Kira, and the high priest purifies both Lady Kira and her dagger. Yeah, so there's something not right here. Two then devote themselves to prayer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and obviously they already pointed out the fact that they switched places. Like they weren't in the places they were supposed to be. So
Objection!
I'm just trying something. I might not. I probably wasn't on the right statement actually. Victim commits. Unless it's just stating the obvious. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Maybe it's not that then. God, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of problems here already, but again, it's trying to figure out what does the game want me to focus on right now. That's the hard part. So
Objection!
I had it for a second. Okay. Katie, I would not mind a hint right now. So if you could answer that question. Or you can, yeah, just you can give me a hint if you want. I'm not sure. You have been on the correct statement the whole time. Okay, so this is the right one. Okay. Okay, so if as far as what it's looking for, you were close when it came to the wind, but there was something else. Right. Okay. Maybe it was the lantern we had to select?
Objection!
There we go. All right, thank you. Yeah, okay, so I was very close. God, Katie, you must have been like, oh, or anybody that's watching that's played this. Your benevolence. I found a new contradiction. You did? Hmm. No doubt it is, but another of your vile attempts to slander my insights. Nope. Take a good look at what the victim saw. Just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. Right! That's right! And it wouldn't do that if it didn't have the shield. Or like the guard or whatever. But wait, that was... No, wait, yeah, no, that was correct. But then, hold on. Where does the water come into... Oh, do you know what? Let's just crack on. There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. No, that's where you're wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking in the statue. I fail to see your point. My point is, something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. He seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny. I fail to see what you wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Oh, bless me, Tama, I beseech you. Fix your sight upon the lantern there. Okay. I don't know, Jason. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within for the rite of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. Say what? But when we searched the crime scene, these lanterns had their wind guards on. That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have been burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished, even during an investigation. That would never fly back home. Well, Barbed Head, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Mitama. Ugh. Nick! Don't worry, Maya. I'm just getting started. Alright, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robes and standing in the spring. The High Priest is thought to have been moving toward her, so I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to the arrangement. Won't give up. I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Okay? Here we go again. Okay, so... Didn't mean to do that. Okay. So yeah, it's just made it clearer. Yeah, that one doesn't have its guard, but the other one does. As these are memories, you can't fake them. It's the insights themselves that you're working to resolve. Yeah. That one, yeah, that doesn't have a guard, and there's like part of it missing, essentially. At the first part, the transformation right ended. He lowered such wrestle. There's under the victim felt an intense stabbed. Okay, so. Okay. Wait. Then it's back to normal there. Hold the frickin' phone. Hold on a minute.
Huh?
Yeah, like, look at the, so if you look at this one here, it looks normal. But then if you turn to this here, it looks like that. But then when you go over here, when he puts down the sutra, it looks normal. Yeah, that's a contradiction right there. What is going on there? Huh. Weird. Now the question is, do we have the right statement? And if it's the right spot? I'm gonna save here. Not that I necessarily need to, but I'm doing it anyway. So let's give this a go.
Objection!
Okay. Either wrong statement or wrong part. I'm gonna say it's the statement. So it commence here. There's another. It's probably the wrong statement. Or maybe I don't know which one it is, but I'm just trying it out.
Objection!
Okay, so it's not that. Hmm.
Objection!
Hmm. It's probably the wrong statement. I'd ask Katie something, but Twitch Whisper isn't working. Oh no! Did I say hi to you, by the way? Oh no, I did, because you did the stream streak earlier. Never mind. Hello again, anyway. um... Okay.
Objection!
God damn it. I tried on this one already? I don't remember. Like with the with that statement, I mean. I think I did. Um. Hmm.
Objection!
God damn it. Hmm. Maybe it's this statement again.
Objection!
There we go. We got it. Okay. I was just on the wrong statement the entire time. What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the insight. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? One minute you shout out and the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of one who is barreling down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Sudmani? Take cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if this overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Hi, Sky. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I know, right, Katie? That's interesting. Sorry, but I'm not barreling down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken, and if you watch what Abbott and me saw in the final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Faye is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in the seance vision. How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? Let me start by saying, the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, I can tell lantern positions, I guess? No. That's why we save constantly, folks. That was my gut reaction, to be honest. Like, that was my initial thoughts, but I wasn't sure. Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. But thankfully, it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. Curious how many Ace Attorney games are there? So you have the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. You have the Apollo Justice trilogy. You have the Ace Attorney Investigations, which I think there's like 2 or 3 games in that one. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. And then you have the Ace Attorney or the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I think has 2 games. Six mainline games, 2 spin-off duologies, and a crossover with Professor Layton, and Ghost Trick is considered part of the series also. There you go, that's the answer. Yeah, there's quite a few. I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertions, it's such a... capricious? Well, if that's the right manner. Its credibility may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya really standing? I'm pretty sure I know, but just in case.
Take that!
Where she was supposed to be. I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, his memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to the custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No, this is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving toward the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned towards the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. That's because of the sutra. Actually, it does appear. Just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was in fact turning around in that moment.
Objection!
If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence's insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that?
Objection!
I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Samadi. Her benevolence's insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence! Huge error, you say? Do explain. Huge error is... So the order of the right crime scene and the number of people there. I'd say it's either the order of the rights or the number of people there, right? Surely. So stop that. Again, this is why we save constantly. There we go. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be! Oh, but it can, and it is. The inside stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth lying behind this testimony of the dead. Oh. 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 Are you suggesting that there was someone else at the scene of the crime? Have I misunderstood the voice of the Misuma yet again? This cannot be. Phew, that was a close one. I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. I should add these new facts to the court record. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusations of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. She looks so defeated. She is young as well, so... Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Subnati? My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time, I have learned to perform last rites for souls in trials like in a seance. Hi, Saber. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rite.
Put that cookie down! Now!
Okay, I'll put the cookie down. Hey, Aloy, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. Then again, he is an international prosecutor who solved tough cases around the world. Cookie? Time to hunker down, huh? Now then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Would the defense please tell us who the third party addressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insides of the Royal Priestess. Oh my goodness, sorry. So I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. The third party must have really wanted to kill the High Priest. I might be able to identify who it was if it had evidence of the murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this. Okay, let's look. Let's see, so the evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party. What we got here? Fan letter. I think this will be the evidence because this was found there. And it has a symbol.
Take that!
No? I thought that would be it. Okay, never mind then. No, Katie's lying. Turn around affirmative. Oh, give me the evidence that can reveal the identity of the Oh, maybe this?
Take that!
There we go. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. No, I didn't, Katie. Shush. You did? Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite." The rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Peace! I don't understand. I had heard the Lady Kira that has been in the news of late, only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the high priest? Excellent question. Yeah, peace. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the high priest had secretly been a rebel? High priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. High priest, devout follower of Corainism, a rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible.
Objection!
The third party was the rebel hunted Lady Kira, and the high priest was a rebel. Your mockery of Corainism. No. The kingdom of Corain itself knows no bounds. Whoops. Oh, jeez. Faithful Corainist, I take issue with these claims, and I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense's claims are above vile blasphemy, tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is that really that big of a deal, Maya? Bodimi was a distinguished monk, and very well respected too, so yeah. Please don't let this turn into an international incident. But fear not, good people of Karain. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to no avail once I conclude these last rites. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How was that possible when he had his back turned toward Miss Faye? Someone else must have killed him.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid head. The karmic flow of this trial is, as yet, still in my hands. How can you be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegations of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness? Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand. Oh boy. Oh, this guy! Him again. Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I've ever laid eyes upon. Please state your name and occupation. Oh, you know, that so-and-so whatchamacallit. Oh no, this is gonna be a freaking... This is gonna be a mess, I can tell. And we'll be right back right after the ads. This is gonna be fun, ain't it? Could we just throw him out for contempt of court for not stating his name and occupation? It would invalidate his credibility and prosecution would lose ground. Oh, jeez. Maybe throw a controller at him. Right, the ads are playing, so we're just gonna wait. Oh, it's some water. Oh. Checking messages from my mom because she was basically talking to my great aunt who myself and Tabby are staying with on Sunday. Um, ugh. Oh, jeez. Because as I said earlier, we're heading down to London to renew Tabby's passport. Got to message you about a PNG tuber. Yeah, you said you wanted to talk to me about that. Fun, yeah. I'm sorry, Saber. There was no time, Miss Streamer. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Welcome back from ads, everyone. Sorry about that, and also thank you for your patience. Appreciate it. Let's continue. I was able to renew mine all online, which was nice. I think it's because you have a UK passport, I'd imagine. So yours would have been easier. But because Tabby's one is Danish, there's not many embassies here in the UK to do that, and you can't do it online, unfortunately. Um, so they used to be able to send out the passport to you, but they stopped doing that like a year or two ago, at least for the Danish embassy. So we have to go there in person for an appointment, and we have to go pick it up when it's ready, which is really annoying, honestly. But you know, it is what it is.
Boo, yeah, I know, right? Sucks. UK has a bigger presence in America? Yeah, yeah. Anyway. Anonymous. TBD. At least that's what they've been calling me. Anonymous. Oh, pfft. Ugh. Leave me alone, Saber. Hi, Fletcher. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. EBD? As in, to be determined? Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, I named him Anonymous TBD in my report, but he thinks TBD is part of his name. Such a dunce.
Objection!
You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear. I have already questioned him at length. While it is true he has utterly forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Oh, how convenient. Considering the dearth of oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Imus, please tell us what you saw. Oh, this is gonna be fun, ain't it? That night, I was up at the top of Mount Pony Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. I hate crowds, so I climbed up there to pray in peace. I know it's a no-no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the right at the inner sanctum. That's when I saw the accused stab the high priest with a dagger. There's no way you saw Miss Faye stab the victim with a dagger. I swear I don't know what he's talking about. Or, don't remember at any rate. Mount Pony Pony, the beautiful mountain that is also known as the Little Sanctum. Stonewall, hi, welcome in. Hello. They must be talking about that smaller mountain from the poster. Mr. Imus, I was wondering, what can I do for you? The inner sanctum lies at a high elevation where clouds and fog can obscure the view. Are you sure you were able to see what happened from the mountain top next to it? Good point. His Majesty raises an excellent question. Well, Mr. Imus? The day of the ride, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. I had a perfect view. If you don't believe me, check the weather forecast in the paper that day. Nick, don't we have the newspaper for that day? Yeah, let's take a look. Weather forecast. The area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. The warmer temperature will make for excellent prayer weather. Be warned, however, that we'll see a cold front move in overnight. It does say calm, clear skies, doesn't it? See? Told you so. Okay. Well, it would appear the witness has offered testimony worth hearing. Probably just, I'd say it's like a boastful laugh, Katie. Mr. Amos, I too have a question for you. Didn't you already question the witness? Well, that's what I'm here for, right? Shoot! How was the accused holding the dagger? Was she holding it underhanded, its blade protruding the bottom of her hand? Yep, I believe she was. Called a reverse grip. Ah, I thought as much. Hold it right there. What bearing does that have on this case? Cease your interruptions, you putrid-headed lawyer. Do you not see the significance in how the blade was held? Why don't you enlighten me, oh enlightened one? I knew you were a fool. I could already picture you in your next life. Next life? Yes, after your soul writs for centuries in the pits of hell. You shall be reborn as a witless sea urchin, with barbs limited to your posterior. You shall live a short, inconsequential life, only to be brutally devoured by a sea otter. Jesus, that's oddly specific. That's a bit excessive. I simply asked what the dagger grip had to do with the case. Now pay attention. How the accused held the dagger is of vital importance. With such information, we can infer exactly what action she took. You were saying that the victim was killed while he had his back to the accused. Is that correct? Yeah. As such, the accused's dagger grip tells us something very important. The accused approached the victim from behind, swung her arms around him, and plunged the dagger deep into his abdomen using a reverse grip. What? Thus, Mr. Amos' testimony clears up any doubts that might remain. Rhymes with dive, sorta? So, wait. Rights, then? Haha! And it coincides with her benevolence's insights as well. This is a disaster. I thought I'd blown those insights out of the water, but now they're back to haunt me. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness. You got it? Why is English such a complicated language? It's so stupid. And yet it's my native language. Okay. Save here.
Hold it!
Are you sure you're not mistaken, Mr. Amos? Was it really Mount Pony Pony that you climbed? Words are hard, they really are. English is stupid like that, don't ask questions. Well, I'm sure of it. It was really Pony Pony-ish mountain. What does that even mean? No, now that I think about it, it was a mighty fine view. English hard, but me know what word mean. Saber's getting pissed.
Hold it!
Hey, crowds, why bother climbing to the top? Couldn't you have just as easily prayed at the bottom of Mount Pony Pony? Wrong, bucko. This is a once-a-year epic event. I wanted to pray as close to the actual thing as possible. If you're so gung-ho about it, why didn't you just go pray at the Plaza of Devotion? Oh my god, Katie. Like I said, I hate crowds. I wanted to pray in peace. Oh, Holy Mother, why do I only get the annoying ones? For real, though. My burning faith demanded that I climb up the mountain closest to the inner sanctum. Also,
Hold it!
since nobody was around, there is nobody who can corroborate your actions either. Oh, you're exactly right. In that case, Mr. Amos, let me ask you this. Was there a reason you didn't want to be seen? About that. You get caught climbing the surrounding mountains on the day of the rite. You can get in big, big trouble. Har 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 har. That's it. Yeah, it's totally embarrassing getting yelled at when you're a grown-up. Yeah, you're a real grown-up, alright. Since nobody was around, I lost all inhibition.
Hold it!
You had a pair of binoculars with you? That's pretty convenient. You weren't planning to spy on the right all along, were you? Actually, I just happened to have them for bird watching. Bird watching, huh? I see. I'm not gonna keep pressing him on this. Or you're not gonna keep pressing him on this? It's sketchy as heck, but I don't really have anything I can really sink my teeth into yet. Oh, okay then. I love the great outdoors. That's just the kind of guy I am. A guy called Anonymous TBD. He's really starting to get on my nerves. As I looked through my binoculars, I couldn't believe what was unfolding before me.
Hold it!
Did you really see what you say you did? Are you saying I'm lying about this? Well, I'm not. It's etched permanently in this old noggin. But I didn't do what you say I did. I didn't even get a chance to touch the dagger on the day of the rite. What I know of that? All I know is what I saw. I've never even seen him before in my life. What possible reason could I have to lie? Didn't expect there to be any witnesses way up there. I don't remember doing that at all. I know. I have a feeling the witness is lying. There has to be an inconsistency somewhere in his testimony. Let's take another look at the court record. This is a short Friday shift. Yeah, wake up before you know it when you start cycling. Have a nice evening. Oh, excuse me. Have you got your work shoes at the very least? Oi! Why are you guys bullying me? Just trying to talk to my husband. Yeah, see you later. Stay safe out there. Bye. Alright. Now the tabby's gone. We shall continue. Okay, so...
Oh, thanks for the helium saber. Oh, by the way, Skywolf, happy wedding anniversary to you and Drew. I saw it in the Telegram group. Wow, Saber, how dare you? Then I was up at the top of Mount Pony, the mountain next to the inner sanctum. Big crowds, I kind of there to peace. I know it's no, but since there was no one around, I used my binoculars to spy on the riot at the inner sanctum. Does helium stack? No, it does not. Wait, hold on a minute. How would he be able to see the... How would he be able to see that? When there's this?
Objection!
Let it be known. Wait, what? Stop throwing cheese! Fatality! I'll be tactfully clearing your reward queue. Oh, right, okay. Your Majesty, I had my doubts about this bushy-bearded witness, but now I know we can't trust him. What? You ain't just judging me solely on my bodacious beard, are you? Not at all, Mr. Immus. It's much more than your sketchy appearance. It's your sketchy testimony. First wave incoming? Oh boy. His testimony, you say? Yes. Recall how the inner sanctum was that day. Specifically, that it was completely enclosed by the ritual curtain. Well, yes, I believe you're right. The curtain would have completely blocked the witness's view from Mount Pony. Therefore, he couldn't possibly have seen the murder happen. Hoo-ha! You freaking Johnny Bravo? Mr. Immus, have you been knowingly making false statements to this court? There we go. You got me! The witness will lower his voice. You're all good, Saber. I didn't actually see the accused herself. Didn't actually see the accused herself?
What's that supposed to mean? Let me set the record straight. I beg you. Well, thank you for taking care of the queue. I saw the shadowy silhouette projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. She was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused, gripping that dagger. I'm trying to do this in waves. You have over 750 with times 3. Is that what it's supposed to be? Oh, jeez. Shadows? That's what you saw? That's right. I could see what was going on by the shadows projected onto the ritual curtain. I saw a shadow. Great eyewitness testimony, nincompoop. In the future, Mr. Immus, I would rather you offer an accurate testimony from the start. Forgive me, my main man, Mr. Magistrate. Chalk it up to my fuzzy memory. You just said that this was clear in your mind. Though he saw but shadows, it is still valuable testimony. You have to be kidding me. That's the next wave. What are you gonna do now, Nick? All I could think of is to look for inconsistencies between the actual rite and what Mr. Immus says he saw. Now then, the defense may cross-examine the witness once more. What gear?
I'm scared of breaking your stream, but this is also entertaining.
Let's get a good stretch.
Alright, I'll do that. Okay. Limit testing for future reference? Oh boy. Man, that was loud. And 12 bullies is fine. Alrighty then. Yeah, thank you for the self-care package there, Hoshi. Appreciate it. Hey, you're already bully. Yeah, no kidding, Saber. No kidding. Alrighty then.
Hold it!
So what you saw were simply shadows? That's right. Those shadow figures on that bright white curtain. They showed through plain as day. See everything that happened. But Miss Faye and Ava and me were at the top of a mountain late at night. The only light up there was coming from 4 small lanterns. Wow, Saber, okay. How could the shadows have been projected that clearly onto the curtain? No wonder people harp on you lawyers. You're always so dang skeptical. Lanterns weren't the only sources of light, you know.
Hold it!
You claimed to have seen shadowy figures that were projected onto the ritual curtain. But did you really see them, Mr. Immus? Of course I did. Bright moonlight projected them onto that curtain, clear as day. It was like watching a scene out of a horror movie from my front row seat on Mount Pony Pony. I guess the moon does shine a bit brighter when you're way up there. Maya, do you recall how bright the moon was that night? I remember there weren't any clouds and that the moon was definitely out, but I don't remember it could cast any shadows. Okay, thanks. I can't deny that the moon was really bright, which means it's possible that it was bright enough to cause shadows to appear. I remember it just like it happened. Uh-huh.
Hold it!
Hang on. How do you know it was Miss Faye if all you saw were shadows? It was that little bun on top of her head. Didn't need to see her face. That distinctive Bob's a dead giveaway. Never underestimate my keen sense of observation. Now that's one funny haircut. What? Don't diss on her! It's not nice to make fun of a girl's hairstyle. I like my hair this way. Besides, you're one to talk, you Sasquatch. Oh, damn! You're not into this wild, manly look I'm sporting? That's what you know, little girl. Excuse you? Wait, did I say something else? Okay, no, he didn't. Nick! There's some kind of a... Isn't there some kind of a crime you could charge him with? I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. Now he claims he only saw shadows? It's testimony has sketchy written all over it. Listen, you can only get away with the wild manly look if you're a himbo. Yeah, honestly. Then there must be an inconsistency in there somewhere. Yep. Was he really watching everything from Mount Pony Pony? If so, then I should see how his testimony lines up with the conditions of the rite. Okay. Just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse gripping that dagger. Pretty sure this is the evidence that we need.
Objection!
No? Never mind. I thought it was. Saber, I would leave those drawing redeems. Leave them for me to take care of. It's so I can keep track. Whoa! I should maybe jump a little bit. Oh, it didn't? Oh, okay. Whoops. I mean, I guess. Cause of death was.
Objection!
Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe this is it.
Objection!
No? That could be it. Maybe I'm on the wrong statement.
Objection!
Legend of Zelda turns 40 tomorrow? Jeez. Wait, stop making me feel old.
Objection!
Okay, so maybe it's not that one. So it's not that evidence. Thought I'd try it anyway. Okay, so... Hi, Miyako. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Just started wondering. I just randomly started thinking, what if it wasn't a dagger, but an arrow that was used as a weapon?
Objection!
It wouldn't make sense. It was just a thought I had. Matt Macropika, hi, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Walk me through your thinking. So I was trying to think of like what evidence do we present here? Because like he's claiming that he saw them during the whole ritual. At first he said that he saw them clearly, but then it turns now he's saying that he only saw the shadowy silhouettes projected against the curtain. And then I was just looking at this, where he was saying about the reverse gripping that dagger, and for some reason I started thinking, wait a minute, what if it was an arrow instead of the dagger, because they couldn't find the dagger. And the arrow was used for this warning letter. That was my thought process anyway, just now. Why don't we turn our thinking around? Maybe we're on the wrong track. Trying to think. Let me go back on the thing. I saw the shadowy silhouettes projected against the ritual curtain. The figures were created by the light of the full moon on that clear and still night. Yeah. Wait, hold on. You warned, however, that we'll see it full front. Okay, so that has nothing to do with it. I'm saying that. Oh, shit. Figures are creative. There's a shadow. I could tell it was the accused person. I feel like this is the important statement. This has to be it. What about her shadow gave him that impression? Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, he did comment on the hairstyle, but like...
It was just a shadow, but I could tell it was the accused reverse. She dons Lady Kira's clothes in that moment, right? Don't do it. Letter has 3 unusual holes. Yeah, that's... Yeah. I was thinking the arrow initially, but now... Wait a minute. Spring dress. Just watching. I'm trying to rack my brain. We need a way to disprove that the shadow he saw was Maya. Yeah. My love of space helped me get this one almost immediately. Hey, Yesterday, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. See, my first thought when this whole thing came up was I thought it was the diagram that was going to be the evidence that we need to prove the contradiction. But apparently that was not the answer, so... And then I thought maybe it was the arrow. Was the moon phase that night? It just said that it was going to be a cold night, essentially. See a cold front move in overnight. Actually, let's see if this says anything else about it. Thick white ice that froze the ground from the inner sanctum to the plaza of devotion until yesterday has melted. The rite can now go on as planned. We give thanks for the blessings of the Holy Mother and Lady Kira Hapiraki. Okay. Lady Kira returns to battle rebels. The Lady Kira-like figure that appeared 2 years ago remains a mystery. Some town elders see her as Lady Kira in the flesh. Such rumors are fueling the enthusiasm for today's purification rite. Maybe. I wonder... Does it have something to do with this? But then again... There's no blood there. The only blood, so to speak, is at the spring. Let's try this anyway. Let's have a look.
Objection!
No. Okay. Never mind. Did the right ritual description say anything about when the ritual is performed? I think it does. Yeah. Right side. Purification rite is a 3-part ceremony held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony. Begins with the transformation rite. The high priest reads scripture while the priestess dons the robes of Lady Kira, which have been purified with incense. Next is the rite of water, in which the priestess enters the spring dressed as Lady Kira. And the high priest purifies both Lady Kira and her dagger. The ceremony ends with the rite of fire, in which the priestess circles the sacred flames to purify her soul. Oh yeah, the full moon is there. If it's directly over, then it wouldn't cast shadows. True. Okay, that's a good point. Alright. Yeah, this must be it then.
Objection!
No? Are you kidding me? Wrong statement? Figures are created by... Maybe it's this one.
Objection!
No, okay. Oh, not meant to do that. Whoops. Yeah. Fine. Are we having an overthinking lawsuit moment? Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Objection!
There we go. Thank you, chat. You saw silhouettes projected by the moonlight? Sorry, but that's just not possible. What do you mean? How is it not possible that it was totally possible? That's impossible. Very much. Yeah, I was definitely overthinking. I think I'm gonna need a logicalese translation on translation on that. Oh my god, translation. Okay then. Let's take a look at this rights guide, shall we, Mr. and Miss? The rite is held when the moon is directly over the summit of Mount Pony Pony. Add enough time to put on a little ditty title, No Moon. So if the moon was shining from the west, any shadows would have been cast eastward. But Mr. Immus was standing to the west of the inner sanctum on Mount Pony Pony. Oh, holy mother! That's right. Our witness here couldn't have seen any shadowy figures on that curtain. No way! Perhaps it was the sacred flames of the lanterns that cast the shadows he saw? I'm afraid not. I inspected them during my investigation, but the flames were too small to cast the crisp, distinct figures Mr. Emerson claimed to have seen. Sorry, I just burped. But I did see the silhouettes, really. How could he, Nick? Maybe he was someplace where they were visible? Wait, don't tell me. New Magistrate, if Mr. Immus really did see those shadows, it brings a brand new fact to light. And that would be... The brand new fact that comes to light if Mr. Immus really did see those shadows is... I'd say he was somewhere else, but I'm gonna save just in case. Boom. He wasn't where he claimed to be at the time of the murder. Oh, then where do you propose the witness was? Someplace where he could have seen the shadow figures, naturally. Wait, you mean... None of the mountains east of the inner sanctum are close enough for a good view. That leaves only one place could have clearly seen the shadows from. And where might that be? This is where Mr. Immus was at the time of the murder. He had to have been in the inner sanctum. Or, where's the High Priest's home again? I'm gonna say the inner sanctum. Yep. That's the only thing that made sense. Mr. Immus was at the inner sanctum, just outside the curtain of the east side. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Saber. I was like, wait, no, that's way too far down. That's the only place from which he could have seen the shadowy figures. Hoo-ha! Really? Wow, I didn't even think of that. Wasn't the inner sanctum off limits to all but the victim and the accused? And the third party who was there, you mean? I get the feeling that the subject, Prosecutor Samadi, would rather not touch right now. Oh, you mean... That's right. This witness was at the scene of the crime, which means he is the mysterious third party we saw during the divination seance. He could be the one who dressed as Lady Kira and killed the High Priest. What?
Objection.
What now? No one but the two participants were allowed anywhere near the inner sanctum. Were you not freaking listening? And the only way up there are the stairs that start down at the Plaza of Devotion. So tell me, how do you propose the witness entered that sacred place? Oh, you must have, haven't thought that far ahead. Sanctum has sheer cliffs on 3 sides and a steep towering rock face on the other. No one could have made it there by climbing the faces of those cliffs. His Majesty speaks true. To say Mr. Imbus was at such an inaccessible location is but a bid to tarnish his credibility. Is that not right? Right, I wasn't at the inner sanctum. No sir, no how. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't.
Hold it.
What do you mean pretty sure? Then what about those silhouettes you claim to have seen? I'm starting to think I've been imagining things. What? This is insane! Peace! Peace, I say! This is impossible. Unless I can show how he got to the inner sanctum, it just looks like I'm trying to slander Mr. Imus. I believe in you, Nick. Wait, what? You do like a cheer or something? Rah, rah, sis boom bob! 5-5, Phoenix right! What's your problem, lady? Phoenix Wright is very trustworthy, I'll have you know. It's got some nerve for a criminal. I bet that lawyer poisoned her mind. Wow, okay then. Please, Maya, you're only making it worse. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but it's probably best to keep it to yourself for now. I would advise the defense to think carefully before making any more sudden outbursts. Yes, Your Majesty. I wasn't the bad guy before, I definitely am now. Now, Mr. Imus, I would like you to think back carefully before you testify next about where you were that night. Okay. I was never at the inner sanctum, I tell you. That much I'm sure of, even with the fuzzy memory. Besides, it would have been impossible to get there in the first place. Boy, you lawyers sure are scary. I guess it might have been impossible for him to get into the inner sanctum like he claims, but... Now, will you desist in trying to frame this innocent witness? Yeah, I'd like to see you explain how he got up there. Mr. Wright, is it not time to end these cross-examinations? A moment of desperation leads to 100 million years of torment. It means that for each moment a sinner spends struggling to deny their sins, 100 million years of torment are added to their time in hell. Zionism is the strictest religion ever. And just so you know, you've already accrued 200 million extra years. Plus the 5 you started with, that's 700 million years. Sure, what's another 200 million, give or take? Well, it's a big deal to me. I can't keep saying that the witness was there at the inner sanctum if I can't prove it. The problem is, how am I going to do that? Well, there's only one way to find out, Phoenix. Let's save real quick.
Hold it!
Are you sure you weren't there? All I'm sure of is that you're deeply skeptical. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are all lawyers always like this?
Most certainly. They always try to pin crimes on innocent witnesses without any proof whatsoever. They are no better than bacteria or viruses. Damn. Yikes. You mean he's contagious? He's gonna give me lawyeritis. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. You mean it wasn't before? Well, that was a close one. You almost put me there at the scene of the crime when I wasn't even there. Can you stop eating lizards?
Hold it!
You just said your memory was fuzzy. Sure did. What's the big deal? I'll tell you what. Your testimony isn't very credible if your memory of the events is fuzzy. Oh, no worries there. My memory may be fuzzy, but I'm very clear on one thing. Here we go again. If you ask me whether or not I remember what I did that night, I'd say I do. In short, you are confident that your testimony is true. Is that correct, Mr. Imus? Exactly. Guess you don't get to be a judge for nothing. So in closing, I can clearly say that I was totally not there. Uh-huh. Sure.
Hold it!
I wonder if it really was impossible for you to get to the inner sanctum. If you have something to say, just say it. Couldn't there have been another way to get there? A way that wouldn't attract attention? No, there isn't. Which means there is. Perhaps the defense would share its theory with us? I don't even have a wild guess, let alone a theory, though. Time to reach into my bag of bluffs. To reach the inner sanctum without attracting any attention. Climbed up the cliff, he came from the plaza, or he fell from the fell from the sky? Bro, what? I swear to God, if that's the answer... Should I try it? Weird shit has happened. True. I'm gonna try it. I swear to God, if that's the answer. Maybe you fell from the sky? Roy thinks he's a comedian now. I was wondering what crazy theory you would propose next. Well, defense, let's hear it. Mr. Imus could have, parachuted down. We already know the weather was clear and there was no wind to speak of. Perfect weather for skydiving, I'd say. Now that you have been backed into a corner, your delusions grow ever more delusional. The inner sanctum is on a tiny ledge upon a sheer cliff over 2,000 meters tall. One misstep and a skydiver would soon find themselves in the Twilight Realm. Right, so... yeah, pretty much, Katie. Yeah, so it's down there. Yeah, I don't care how still the wind was, even I couldn't have made that jump. Wait, what's this building on top of the sacred... Yeah, that's true, I was wondering about that. That is Royal Penitentiary number 4? I don't know. Oh, right, Princess Rafa mentioned there was a prison up there. Oh. Okay. How do you get your prisoners up there anyway? That's true, yeah. How would you get them up there? By helicopter, but only with authorization from the Minister of Justice. He is the only one who can approve flights that pass over the inner sanctum. Okay, we actually... So wait, we're on to something then if we got evidence out of that. Alright, well, we're going to pause here for a minute because the ads are about to start again, so we'll be right back. It's actually a useful piece. Yeah,
I did not think, like, for a moment I was like, wait, okay, like, I thought, okay, surely not, but I thought, well, there has been crazy things have happened in these games. But the fact that we just got evidence out of it, that must mean that we're getting somewhere. Like, this is actually legit. Also, I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but I was looking at the poster, the wanted poster, that's there in the evidence. I was actually trying to compare it to Mr. Anonymous. I'm starting to wonder if he's that guy. There's the ad. Okay, just gotta wait. I mean, it's fair to assume that he would be afraid to reveal his identity if he was an escaped convict. True, true. This is Ace Attorney. We've defended an orca, questioned a parrot and a robot, and I've had a testimony from a professional assassin via transceiver. Yeah, true. Yeah, we've had some crazy things happen, that's for sure. Checking some things while the ads are running. Not to mention, we've had a dead girl psycho criminal on the stand. True. The only thing that hasn't happened that I know of is God themselves being guilty, but this isn't a JRPG. In a courtroom where a fucking cardboard knockoff badge was accepted. I connected to Dawn. I think you'll hate it. Oh no. Don't forget you did deal with the Master of Disguise who jumped off 3 stories. Yeah, I guess. We've had some crazy cases, that's for sure. Oh god, Mo. Just had to deal with Manfred von Karma, a man guilty of sin who went off the rails because someone inflicted a penalty on his perfect record. Yeah. Alright, welcome back from ads, everyone. Sorry about that, and also thank you for your patience. Appreciate it. Alrighty then. Well, we got a new piece of evidence, so let's continue. Might I also add, defense, that no parachute or any other equipment necessary for skydiving have been found. You're saying I flew down there by flapping my arms? I may be an incredible dude, but even I'm not capable of that. Well, please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Amos. It's not like I could fly through the air either. Not giving me much to work with here. But alright. I'm gonna save here.
Okay, what we got here? Post for a photograph of the entire intersection. Uh-huh. Put the knives down, both of you.
Objection!
Really? I guess it's too early. Wait, hold on a minute. Wait. I think this is it. Considering the way that they're sewn together, which they weren't in any other place, and how ripped to shreds it is, or at least it looks like it anyway.
Objection!
Boom! Mr. Immis is right. He couldn't have skydived down there without any gear. Well now, finally come around, have you? Now you see that I couldn't have possibly been there at the intersectum. Right. If he didn't have any gear, that is. What on earth are you talking about? That overreaction is a dead giveaway that I'm on the right track. Take a look at this piece of evidence. Those are prayer flags, are they not? Yes, but they have been sewn together to create one big banner. A banner that could also function like a parachute. Conka! The people of Karain are so used to seeing prayer flags that the police didn't even think twice about these flags during their investigation. No, this cannot be! The witness landed at the inner sanctum by using these prayer flags as a parachute. Is that not right, Mr. Immis? No way out. Surrounded. Mr. Immis? This talks jogged my memory. Yes? Really? I guess I was there at the inner sanctum after all. You dumbass. As I suspected, there were 3 people there that night. You did it, Nick. You weren't wrong after all. Thanks? Mr. Immis, you were the one disguised as Lady Kira that night, weren't you? What? No way, no how. It's like this. Oh yeah. I was only there at the inner sanctum by accident. By accident? Exactly. And that thing's not a parachute. It's a homemade paraglider. Paraglider? Are you telling me you could fly using that patchwork mess of material? It may not look like much, but it's as sturdy as can be. I rode the wind like an eagle, going higher and higher from my earthly launching point. So that would explain the wind from earlier, I guess, and the sudden water that we heard. Interesting. And then something happened that forced me to land at the inner sanctum. So you just happened to land there? You expect me to believe that? Oh no, please calm yourself, Mr. Wright. However, the fact that the witness was at the inner sanctum is crucial testimony indeed. And it certainly warrants further explication. Therefore, let's continue with more testimony. I thought you were gonna say, let's stop for the day and do more investigating, but I guess not. That evening, I was enjoying a trek through the night sky with my homemade paraglider. But just as Mount Pony was drawing near, something terrible happened. An accident forced me to make an emergency landing at the inner sanctum.
As I landed, I banged my head, causing me to lose my memory. So you see, I ended up at the inner sanctum purely by accident. Bull. Mr. Immus, you failed to mention any of this during your pre-trial questioning.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs!
Can't be helped. I mean, I'm just remembering it now. You're so full of freaking... Continue such slipshod testimony, and you will be cast into the hell of hangnails. Ugh. Where you shall have hangnails grown and ripped out for 800 million years. Ow! Ha! I think I'll pass on that. Hangnails are horrible. Looks like that caught Prosecutor Samadhi off guard. This is my chance to rip his case to shreds. Oh my god, Saber. So angry. Okay, so that you...
Hold it!
You were enjoying a trek through the night sky with your homemade paraglider? You didn't go to pray? A devout Quranist like me can pray anywhere, even while flying through the sky. But I wouldn't recommend you try it. You're bound to end up dead. Oh god, Jason. Yeah, agreed, Saber. Paraglider? I didn't see anything like that. That's because of the ritual curtain. Blocked your view. You should have seen me majestically soaring between the mountains. Really? What do you think, Nick? Don't ask me. I was really enjoying that flight. At first, anyway.
Hold it!
But imagine a hell of constant aches and pains? Ugh, no. Something terrible happened? Exactly. And when I say terrible, I mean terrible. Well, was there something unexpected near Mount Pony Pony? Like we talk of flu level? Oh god, flu level aches. Ugh. No thanks. What was it again? Wait, you don't remember? Let's just say it was terrible. You say, but this country says otherwise. They use spiritualism and the last moments of a dead person to determine who is innocent. True, true. They're very heavily religious in this country. Okay.
Hold it!
What exactly was this accident you had? Good question. What was it again? Wind? Oh yeah, it was the wind. And not just any wind, but a sudden gale force wind. Made you lose control. The wind was strong enough to make you lose control? You got that right. Okay then, please add that to your testimony. Okay. Gale force winds came out of nowhere, so I made an emergency landing at the sanctum.
Objection!
We have a saying in my country, Mr. Immus. From one lie sprouts another. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? It means someone caught lying will lie again in an attempt to conceal their first lie. In other words, this current testimony is just a blatant lie you're telling to cover your tracks. What did you just say? You claimed gale force winds caused you to lose control, but this newspaper has the weather report for the day of the murder. It says, the area around the inner sanctum will enjoy calm, clear skies today. Conka! Why, I do believe it does say that.
From one life sprout to another. That makes sense, but is it really a saying back home? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I kind of made that one up.
Damn, Phoenix! For real?
Your Majesty, the witness's testimony contains another flaw. One that's even more fatal to his cause. More fatal, you say? The defense will explain himself at once. Mr. Immis claims he was flying up around the inner sanctum with his paraglider. But it would have been impossible to get all the way up there without any wind. Well, yes, I believe you're right. But we know the witness was at the inner sanctum, so... Mr. Immis, how did you get there? And from where? Without any wind, he couldn't have flown up there from the bottom of the mountain. By process of elimination, the only starting point that makes any sense is... Your Majesty, I believe I have the answer to your question. To reach the inner sanctum, Mr. Immis must have launched himself from here. I'm just gonna say, just in case. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just in case. For whatever reason. Had to have been up here.
Take that!
Haha! Freaking Mr. Jolly Bravo over here, I swear. You insane? That's where he came from? If he couldn't have come from below, the only other option is from above. So you see, Anonymous came down from Royal Penitentiary number 4. I cannot pronounce that second word. From there, he could have easily reached the inner sanctum by parachute. And that means he might have also killed the High Priest. What? Mr. Immis, were you the third party at the inner sanctum? And the one behind the warning to halt the right that the victim received? Was it you we saw in his final memory? Are you the rebel hunter Lady Kira? Not wasting any time there, are you, Phoenix? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sir. Help me out here. Yeah, you've been awfully quiet, actually.
You did it! You finally left him speechless!
Oh, come on, Mr. Prosecutor, man. Quiet, you fool. You should use this time to prepare yourself for what is to come. For a fate far worse than hangnail hell awaits you now. Oh, shoot. Well done, defense. I must concede this point to you. The witness did, in fact, descend to the inner sanctum from Royal Penitentiary number 4. Huh? He didn't even put up a fight this time. Awfully generous of him. But if you are as perceptive as you seem, then surely you've already figured out the riddle. The riddle of Anonymous's true identity. Yep, frickin' called it! Oh, his true identity? Not sure I know quite yet, but I guess I'll have to answer that with something. It would seem I am the only one still in the dark here. Would the defense care to enlighten me? Who is this man we've been calling Anonymous? The witness's true identity is... I'm just gonna save in case it decides to be stupid for whatever reason. Is this really him? Only now do you realize the truth. Well, please do share with us your belated insight. What's wrong, Nick? Why are you holding back? Because this isn't going to be very helpful to our case. Really? Are you sure? Unfortunately, I've got no other choice. That scruffy beard and shaggy mane completely threw me off.
But it's all becoming clear now. The nighttime base jump from the mountaintop prison. The precision landing at the inner sanctum using only a homemade parachute. Only a paratrooper, or more precisely, a former paratrooper, could have pulled that off. This witness is Dats Arabal, prison escapee and key member of Dirk's rebel group. What? The witness is an escaped prisoner? Precisely. The police have been scouring every corner of the city to no avail. Meanwhile, here he was under our noses the entire time. I need to see his name again, because I see what you guys are commenting in the chat. I didn't think anyone would see through my clever disguise. But the witness's charade is not all that has been shattered. Is it, defense? That's it. Really? That? Oh my god. Just... Not a fake saber. Ugh. Ow. Why? Why do I hate this guy? Please recall the defense's own words. He claimed that the real killer was the rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira. Yeah, and what's your point? What of the witness's true identity? No! He is a rebel and an escaped prisoner. He could not possibly have been Lady Kira, mortal enemy of the rebels. No! Now, perhaps the witness will enlighten us to the truth. After all, he has yet to refute any of this. You got me. I'm the razor-sharp fangs of the Defiant Dragons. That's arable. When did you get your memory back? Around the time you guys were talking about there being no wind. But you gotta give me credit for making up all that testimony off the top of my head. Are you prepared to tell us the truth now? Well, it's true I parachuted down to the inner sanctum, but I banged my head on impact and ended up unconscious outside the ritual curtain. I should try to pronounce his name better. That's a rebel. That's a rebel. In short, all my eyewitness testimony was a big fat lie. Big fat lie? Oh, and by the way,
Beauty? Okay. Wait, they know each other? Your Majesty, this filthy rebel belongs in a jail cell.
Oh, yes, of course. Bailiff, seize him at once.
Seems you really have forgotten the will of the dragon, huh, Yudi?
Oh!
What?
But I haven't. But I haven't. And no dogs of the Garan regime are gonna lay a finger on me. Alley up! Deploy all available resources. I want all units placed on high alert. Ah, crap. The escaped prisoner escaped again. Oh, it's regime? Okay, my bad. I thought it was resume. Back to square one now? Yep. The police force has been placed on high alert. He will be caught before long.
An escaped prisoner who's escaped the law again after giving a ton of false testimony. Talk about a troublemaker.
Really pulled a number on all of us.
What was the point of all that anyway?
Well, I can't help but feel that the entire episode was an enormous waste of time.
Your Majesty, perhaps it was not as great of a waste as you might believe.
What makes you say that, Prosecutor at Samadhi?
That a rebel dropped something as he made his escape from these halls.
Oh?
Oh! That script paper looks awfully familiar.
Yes, it does!
These appear to be direct orders from Dirk.
Oh, Dirk, the rebel leader? Oh, but we only have a small corner of it.
Wait, I remember now.
Your Majesty, I've seen that scrap of paper before. You have?
The scrap of paper that's a rebel dropped is part of this.
Take that!
And this is...
I found it at the scene of the crime. It appears to be a copy of that of the order that Mr. A Rebel dropped.
If we put the two together, we should be able to read what the order says. Oh my. And just what does it say, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, you can't read it. Dumbass.
I can't read Kurinese. Oh, Prosecutor Samadhi, if you please.
The ignorant lawyer has not bothered to learn our language.
Very well, then. I do not understand.
Bro, what?
Well, what does it say?
Using the lamplights as a landmark, he was to parachute down to the inner sanctum. Upon the rite's completion, he was to don Lady Kira's robes and make his escape.
What? That is how he was to escape from prison?
So if I were to assume that Mr. A Rebel was the one who killed the High Priest, then maybe it was because Abba Immi tried to thwart his escape plan? Oh, foul lawyer. I'm afraid that is simply ludicrous.
Huh? I didn't say anything.
Did you just read my mind? I know how your putrid mind works. Unfortunately for you, however, now that the rebels' escape plan has been revealed, it is clear that that's a rebel is not the High Priest's killer. How can you be so sure? If only you would use that putrid brain of yours every once in a while. That's a rebel's plan could not have worked without the help of a certain individual. What do you mean? I am speaking of Avo Immi, of course. Hi, Slushy, welcome on in. It's not a thing. Stop it. Had That's a Rebel simply donned Lady Kira's robes and made his escape alone, he would have been far too conspicuous. But were he by the High Priest's side, the faithful citizens praying in the plaza would have had no cause to suspect anything. It is therefore unthinkable that That's a Rebel was the High Priest's killer. So then, you're saying I need to hydrate? Thank you for the hydrate, Slushy. The High Priest was a... I cannot bear to say it. I'm afraid it is so. He numbered among the rebels who threaten our kingdom. How could this be? High Priest, a rebel? There must be some kind of mistake. Satura! Let it go and move on. Accept the truth. It is the only way. And that goes double for you, Defense. Cease your futile battle now. And why should I? Because I will now put the final nail in the coffin of the accused. Now that we have eliminated That's a Rebel from our list of suspects, there is only one person that still remains. The accused, Maya Fey.
Hold it!
Hold it right there. Aren't you forgetting something important? Something important? Please do explain, Defense. We can't end this trial without looking into... Hold on a second. The arrow, the murder weapon, or the third party. Hanatoro, hi, welcome on in. Hope we're doing well.
Hello there.
Hello there. I'd say either the murder weapon or the third party. I mean, we saw... I am curious about the arrow. Sashi, I had, chicken Kievs with, potato wedges. I wonder if the arrow... No, okay. Worth a check. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the third party. I think that's the right answer. There we go. I'm talking about the true identity of the Lady Kira we saw in the seance vision. If that wasn't That's a Rebel, then who was it?
Objection!
That matter has already been resolved. As? What's he talking about? It is as I have maintained from the start. There was no third party in the seance vision.
Objection!
There was another Lady Kira there besides Maya Fey. We all saw her. I can't do a finger point. Wasn't I? Ah! It is time to let it go and move on. Your fate has already been sealed, much like your arm. This hardly seems fair. It is quite simple once you consider where the victim and the accused were at the time. If the victim was near the spring with his back to the accused, what would he see ahead? Besides the water itself, there was nothing but the Warbat statue. Precisely. The Lady Kira we saw in the seance is the Warbat statue draped in her sacred robes. No way! The accused wanted the false Lady Kira to appear in the seance vision before she came from behind and stabbed the victim with the dagger in a reverse grip. Why would the accused want to do something like create a false Lady Kira? And you couldn't tell us this earlier? Yeah, for real, Katie. To show it to the victim as he was being slain. What reason would the accused have to fool the victim she was about to kill? It was not the victim she was trying to fool. It was this very court itself. Come again? Suspicion would not fall on the accused if it looked as if another Lady Kira was there. And the defense was foolish enough to fall for it and claim it was a third party in disguise. Alright, Saber. What are you saying? I am. It was all a cleverly wicked scheme perpetrated by the accused. Jesus Christ, that was loud. A scheme in which she sought to use the seance vision to mislead us. This can't be happening. What a face you are making, Defense. I am surprised you are taking this so hard. After all, did I not clearly state a while back that you were chasing after naught but a deluded fantasy? You're telling me he knew this is how it would turn out all the way back then? And that he was just waiting for the most effective moment to spring it on me? Do you understand now? I have had you dancing in the palm of my hand this entire time. It can't be! This is an outrage! You took our royal priestess's sacred divination seance and used it to commit this most foul and despicable murder? No, I did nothing of the sort! Maya. Nick, it's not true! I didn't!
Objection.
Cease this ugly display. Your fate is sealed now that the facts have been exposed. Your Majesty, the time has come to convict this criminal who only seeks to taint his sacred hall. Indeed. It seems this trial is over.
Hold it!
Does the defense wish to offer up yet another counter-argument or something? The accused is not the killer. And, here's why. Now what do? I've got nothing. It would appear that the defense has run out
Of arguments to make. Thanks for the helium, Snaker. I thought for sure that the rebel was the killer. The only person with a possible motive, the one dressed as Lady Kira, is vanished. And I've got nothing to use against Prosecutor Samani's arguments. Damn it! Can't lose now. Not like this. Very well then. I shall now render my verdict. Wait! Please wait! I'm begging you! It is time to let it go and move on. This trial need not be drawn out any longer. The defense has failed to counter the charge filed by the prosecution. In accordance with the law, I invoke the Defense Culpability Act against the defense. Now then, this court finds the accused, Maya Fey, and the defense Phoenix Wright. You're joking! Magistrate, please forgive the interruption, but... Hello? What is the meaning of this? A body has been found in the Plaza of Devotion, Your Majesty. What's this? Body? What happened now? Have they found this sticking out of the victim? Wait, that's the murder weapon! What? That's Lady Kira's warband dagger! Peace! Well, it would seem the dagger that was once lost has now been found. I have one more thing to report, Prosecutor Samadi. Yes? This dagger. It bears the fingerprints of Maya Fey on it. What? Oh, we are so... Yeah, I know, right, Jason? What the heck? What? What? How did Maya's prints be on it?
I cannot believe it, yet it must be true. Is something the matter, Prosecutor Samadi? This trial has run its course, and the accused's guilt has been firmly established. However, it would seem the defense was right about one thing. I was? You claimed that the murder at the Inner Sanctum had been carried out by the rebel hunter masquerading as Lady Kira. I did say something to that effect, but what of it? Sorry, I just heard a noise from outside. Prosecutor Samadi, are you suggesting what I think you are? I believe the true identity of the rebel hunter who has been masquerading as Lady Kira is none other than the accused, Miss Maya Fey. What? What? Me? What? What? How can you say that when she's right there? I realize how shocking this must be. Looking back, however, I now realize there was much that pointed to this fact. The rebel hunter in Lady Kira was first sighted about 2 years ago, and the accused first came to our kingdom 2 years ago as well. Why, the timing matches perfectly. And there is more. That warning letter was found in the High Priest's bedroom 3 days before the rite. Yeah, and? Despite his house being locked up tight that night.
Objection!
How does that prove anything?
Objection!
It is difficult to believe an intruder could have found a way to enter such a secure house. However, the accused was known to come and go freely there. He may need to prepare for the purification rite. Oh. The accused could have easily left the house unlocked for herself without anyone noticing. No! If we assume that the accused was Lady Kira, that more than establishes her motive for killing the High Priest. Yes, so the victim was secretly an insurgent, bent on helping that's a rebel escape after all. Precisely. That made him a target of Lady Kira's wrath. And after killing the High Priest, she then unleashed her divine justice on another rebel.
So, it seems the scope of this case has expanded. We now have 2 murders perpetrated by Miss Maya Fey, masquerading as Lady Kira. This is... If Miss Fey is indeed a serial killer, it would affect the severity of her punishment. In light of this, I believe the second murder must be investigated before we can proceed. As you wish, Your Majesty. Maya Fey, I hereby charge you with the second murder. May your defiled soul feel the weight of your sins. New murder charge on top of a guilty verdict? Seems the defense will live to see one more day. Talk about hanging by a thread. Come tomorrow, a far more terrible punishment awaits you. I hereby suspend these proceedings so that the second murder may be investigated. Until the conclusion of this new investigation, this court is adjourned. Oh boy! To be continued. Oh my freaking god! What the hell? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I can't even right now. Well, we're leaving on a bit of a cliffhanger because we're gonna end it here. We'll come back to this next week.